Hello and welcome to the BloodyMess and Easy Save integration tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to pass your BloodyMess health information through two different scenes, or pretty much, or saving for when a new game starts, or when you've restarted your game, or however you're going to do saving and loading. What I've done, kind of setup wise, is I basically created a positional healing 2 just by doing the edit duplicate on the scene, just so I can have another scene to work with. And the first thing we need to do, other than making sure we have easy save, let's see, make sure we download our easy save and then import it. Okay, so we've got our easy save in here now. So we need to open up our character setup script, and we need to go down to the if loading previous and not using pooling. What I want to do is, this is actually a change I'm going to make in the next. I don't know why this isn't an else statement. So we're just going to cut this, add in the else if load previous. So now it's all part of one thing. And here's where we're going to do our loading portion of the script. You do it in the awake function. So the way we write this is if es2 dot exists, and then you point to your save file. I'm just going to say save file.txt because I don't have a save file right now, but I'm going to create it. So if this save file exists, we want to load our information. And as you can see, the information we need to load is the total health, the head health, the right arm health, the left arm health, the right leg health, the left leg health. And if you go and you look at the actual character, you need to see that in this example, I am only using left upper. Actually, this should be, yeah, it's left upper for everything. Sorry, I was looking at the name, not the tag. You have to excuse me too, because I have a bit of a allergy problem today. But left upper for everything is tagged left upper because it's all left arm or all right arm. So these are all right upper. That's just one way you can make it where it's all one limb to simplify things if you wish. You could still do dismemberment. It would just cut at wherever you say. I guess it would be like right here, and it cut the whole arm off. It would never shoot the hand or the forearm off. So what we're going to do is we need to make sure that we set our left upper health, left upper arm and right upper arm health in here, as well as the head and the legs and the total health. So let's see. So we're checking if the file exists, and then now we're going to load it. So we're going to say that health equals es2.load, and then we're loading a float. And we're going to say save file.text $tag equals health, close parentheses, or not parentheses, but quotes. And we're going to go ahead and close that. What this will do is it will look for the health tag in the save file text, and it'll load that value as the health of our character. Now we need to do the same thing for all of our other values. So we need a head. We need 5 more. We need head health. We need the right upper arm health. Left arm health. Oh, left upper arm health, sorry. And then we have the right leg health. Sorry, I can't talk. The left leg health. I need to see, are we passing? We aren't really passing it. We need to bring in the torso health too, I believe. Let me see. Upper body. Let's go ahead and pass in the upper body health too, just to be safe. So let's add one more. Even though, actually, you know what, let's not, because I'm not using it right here. Upper body health is generally just your total health. So we're loading our variables there. Alright. Now we need to set a save. So our stuff gets saved. And there's 2 ways you can do this. One, you can do a void on destroy. And this will save whenever like the application is quit or the scene changes. Application, yeah, I said that right. The other way is to actually manually save, which you could do like a void save, and you would do the exact same thing, only it would be linked to a button or a key press. Like if you've ever played the Elder Scrolls games, and usually F5 and F6 were quick save and quick load, it's sort of that same thing. With those, you always want to create a new save file, because generally when you're saving, you'll have your, well, first of all, you have to have the type of game you're making, whether you're going to allow like custom saves or if it's all straight autosave. If you're going to do a Skyrim or a Fallout or any type of game that has like custom save points, you need to create a new save file for every different type of save. So you'll have a save file for autosaves, you'll have a save file for quick saves, and generally you can overwrite quick saves or you could let them just pile up. But the more you save, or more save files you have, the more more problems you can have with performance and stuff. I mean, that's what happened with Skyrim on the PS3, is that the save files got so big and convoluted, and there was so many people had so many of them that it just caused performance to tank on the system and caused a big stink. So you kind of gotta think about that when you're designing your save system, whether you're using easy save or you're using, you know, a persistent game object with a singleton and saving with that and passing that on through all your levels, which I can show you how to do that in another tutorial, but that's just something you need to think about. I'm not going to actually use the void save here because I'm not going to make a button to save. I'm just going to use the void on destroy. So we have easy save. Now we're going to save our health, and we're going to save it to the save file that we want to create. And you can name it anything you want. I just name it like this because it's generic. It's also in the tutorial for easy save too, but you can name it something game save or save one. I mean, if you're gonna have like multiple different saves, like different characters the player can use, you can always, you know, go through ints and like add in a, like for instance, you would basically say, you'd get the file name that you wanted, a string file name, and it would be like your save file, and you close parentheses, and you would get your whatever you're saving your save the int for your so you'd have your int for whatever you're trying to do, and then you would continue on with the tag stuff. Obviously that won't work right now. If you want more information on that, you can actually look on the Easy Save 2 website, or there's other tutorials on how to have multiple save files. So we need to save the rest of our stuff, so let's copy this over a couple times. Okay, one more. Now we can I'm gonna bring this down just so it's easier. Need head health. I'm just gonna be lazy with this right now. So we have head health. Copy that. We have right leg health. We have left leg health. Oops. That wouldn't work. We have right upper arm health. We have left upper arm health. Okay, now we can get rid of these. So I was just using them to copy and paste so we get them all the same. We don't have any issues. So what this does will, whenever the prefab is destroyed, it's going to save all of this information to the savefile.txt. And up here we're saving all this information, or we're loading all this information from that file if it exists. And one thing we can do in this, just as like a, since we're going to be starting out without a file at all, Actually, this is a great opportunity to show how the save method works. Let's just copy all this right here. We're just going to load. We're going to go ahead, and if this exists, we're going to load it. Else, we're going to set it to its defaults, like we would have if we weren't using any type of load or save at all. That'll just give us our defaults to start with. So let's not using pooling, so we don't need to mess with on enable right now. If you're using pooling, I'll have to go over that in another tutorial. I'm not sure whether I mean, I'm sure you can save and load. Anyways, okay, sorry, I'm getting off course. Let's go ahead and build, see if we get any errors. Look at my console. Nope, no errors. Alright, let's see if, okay, so what we need to do is we need to go into our character setup script here. We need to make sure we have load save checked. Come up here, hit apply, and then we're going to go ahead and give it a try and see if it works. Oh, see, we reset the scene and the character remains how the character remains. We can heal him. Reset the scene. Every time we reset the scene, the character's health is going to stay the same. We can damage him. Reset the scene. Everything's being saved and loaded. So this is how you can, for instance, for your player character, if you're using BloodyMess on a player character, you could actually save and load the health data between scenes. You can also use this in a system similar to Skyrim or Fallout, where enemies can follow players across scenes, like going through doors in Skyrim. Enemies can come through the doors with you, so you can save the enemy's health as well as the player character's health. So it's kind of powerful in what you can do. It will also save. Right now, it only saves a health state. If you want to save the actual limb state, what you would have to do is create a, you'd have to pass certain bools in. Let's see, where, yeah, like our head off, right upper off, leg off. These would all have to be saved in the system as well, in the saving system as well. And I can add that, actually I can add that functionality in. What it would do is you would say, let's say you loaded your, if leg off equals es2.load bool, and then you do your save file dot text slash tag equals, you know, maybe it equals true. But it would actually be leg off, because it would left leg off. And so you're going to pass this bool on, and then you would need to write a switch, or you could just do an if statement here in the awake function that says if left leg off, and it would, you could actually copy directly from what I do in the ragdoll logic script, where I go through each of these right here, and if like what I do here is else if the parent head off, which is the character setup head off, and the head doesn't equal null, if the actual head mesh doesn't equal null, then you're going to hide it. This is of course going to change. I'm moving to a game object based instead of just a skin renderer based, but for right now you will you can use this to do the same sort of thing. So you would do something like if left leg off, you would do like for each skin mesh renderer, and let's actually just pull the left leg one. I mean, you just do this exact same thing. The difference is you wouldn't need, this is of course right leg off, but I can change that real fast. You don't really need that part right there for this. For each of the skin mesh renderers found in left leg mesh, for each skin mesh renderer left leg mesh found in left leg, you're going to set the left leg mesh renderer active to false. You don't need to turn on the blood, but you can if you want. And then you do the same thing for the left leg collider. It's literally just, you do a whole bunch of if statements just like I did with the ragdoll logic. And that's how you could pass and set up like a zombie with its arm missing coming through the door. Generally, if you want to have enemies coming through like a Skyrim or a Fallout, I would advise to only have dismemberment on death. If you've noticed on Fallout games, they only allow dismemberment of the character when the character actually dies. And that's just an easy way of saving some performance and some headaches down the road on saving and loading. But if you really wanted to be really thorough, it's just a case of copy and pasting stuff from ragdoll logic and making a really long statement here right after you load. It has to be after you load because you need to load your health data first. But yeah, anyways, that is pretty much how you can save and load your character data using Easy Save. There are other methods of saving and loading. I'm going to go over how it's done with dialogue system, and then I may do a just simple like I said, a singleton that doesn't destroy itself on level load, where you can load your data that way. But since a lot of people seem to be using Easy Save too, and it is really easy to save with, it works perfectly. And I hope this tutorial helps you get started on having your character be able to save and load between scenes. And yeah, I'll see you in the next... Oh, actually, before I go, I wanted to mention something that I may not have explained clearly. If you want to load save data, you have to have this checked. And then you need to hit apply so that all of your characters that spawn, because generally with a character you're going to instantiate a character, not just have it sitting in the level. You're going to instantiate a version of it and create a clone, and that clone needs to have load saved on it, so it'll load the save data from the last clone, if that makes any sense. So make sure you have this checked. This is what actually turns it on. You may do all this scripting, but if you don't have this turned on, and if you haven't hit apply,
after you've turned it on, it's not going to do anything. So anyways, that's all I really have to say about Easy Save 2, and hopefully this is a helpful tutorial. Bye.